Alright, so this is the 460 I'm building. I built a bunch of engines now, and you learn how to build them on a budget. So get the Duramax 440, put a stroker crank in it, you got a 460, nice and cheap. What you're gonna need though is a nice head, and what you can see here I've made is basically just some valves that I have glued some sandpaper to. It's a 38-35 valve combo setup. So what I have here is a 40 and a stock 36. Just glue some sandpaper to them, strap the head on, get your drill, come on to the end of the head while it's bolted on, come down with it, take your caliper, measure your depth, on both of them. And before you do this, what you want to do is measure the thickness of the crown of your piston. You can do that by, here's an example. Here's the stock piston out of it. So the way you can measure the crown of it, which is the thickness of the material up here, is you can measure this distance, say 110, then subtract this distance here, which is the dish on this one. I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Let's get a better reading, which is, call it 80 thousandths from 110. Or we have 706 minus 80 is 826, and then you measure from the bottom of the skirt down to the bottom of the piston, and that's 367. So 700, so add 367 and 80, you have 440. 440 minus, or 710, 730 minus 440 is 290. So that'll just basically give you, that's how you measure the thickness of your crown. Measure from here to here. If you have a dish, measure your dish, and then measure from the bottom of the wrist pin down to there, and that will give you the thickness of the crown. You don't want to cut too much out, but you want to keep all your spec. You want to be 80 thousandths piston to valve, 30 thousandths piston to head, and you don't want to sacrifice one for the other. So you don't want to say drop your piston down in the hole just to get your valve clearance or run a thicker head gasket if it's not necessary. Just get your clearance on your valves by doing valve reliefs, and make sure you just got 30 thousandths piston to head. So if you're 20 thousandths in the hole like this one is, run a 10 thousandths head gasket. I took a multi-layer steel, drilled out the rivets, and just took one section of that. So it's 10 thousandths. So I have 30 thousandths piston to head, and now I have cleaned up my valves, and as you can see there, here is the impression that the valve will leave here, and you just want to measure it right there. As you can see here, it's a little bit thin, so I've just relieved it a little bit more, and once you reclay it up and you have 80 thousandths between the piston and the valve, you're good to go. Just another little pro tip.